Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a Symphonic Note. Quick cutscenes that Symphony offers that run parallel with our ongoing Vampire the Masquerade campaign, Sanguine Arch. These brief scenes are high impact, emotionally dense, and give you some additional color and insight on the kindred that populate our worlds and complements the stories that we are collectively telling together. This symphonic note is called Nourish Us. We're going to start with brief introductions. Traci, please tell us who you are, where people can find you if you want to be found, and who you're going to be playing tonight.
Hello, I'm Traci. I'm from Columbus, and I am playing Rosalia Lombardo. Most people call her Leah, and she is a thin blood. I can be found on just about any social media network as Mythical Magpie, one word. Yeah.
Amazing. And Joe A, welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Symphony. My love, please tell us who you are, where people can find you if you want to be found, and then who you are playing in this particular symphonic note tonight.
Yeah, so I am Joe Auerbach, and you can find me as Joe Auerbach. Most places, I'm on Blue Sky mostly right now, and I don't know who I'm playing right away.
That's actually valid when you're dealing with Bridgett.
Yeah. Eventually, I think I'm playing this.
Yeah.
So maybe we take off the shirt until then.
Oh, there we go. Costume change.
Real quick costume change.
Costume change. Live on screen. You guys are seeing it right now.
All right. I don't usually take my clothes off on stream, but
here we go. Here we go. Costume change. It'd be great. And then I just do want to remind our viewers, and I do want to ask before I tee you up in this future scene, Joe, when we last saw Scourge Justice, there were a few truths that we knew. One of the truths was no one knows what your clan is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's still true for the story.
I think so, yeah. I'm
like
sure someone knows, but not everyone.
Not everyone. Another truth that we know is that you were appointed Scourge of Columbus, which is a recently reinvigorated office by Prince Nia Glass. We know that that's still true. The second or the third truth that we have is that when we last recorded, you were 1 point bloodbound to Prince Nia Glass. Hmm? Has that bond increased? Or are you still at 1?
So. I don't think so.
Still at 1.
I don't think I've messed anything up too bad since then.
Okay. That is our current truth. The fourth thing I wanted to verify, Justice, the last time we met you, you were acknowledged and you were reliable. Mm-hmm. Been very busy these past couple of months in Columbus. It would be scandalous for you to have another status this fast, but really who's going to challenge Prince Nia Glass at this point? Are you still acknowledged and reliable, or have we seen another introduction of status?
No, I don't think so.
Understood. And I think the last truth that we have, no, those are the 4 truths that I wanted to verify. So we are going to start with you, Leah, in this symphonic note titled Nourish Us. You aren't scheduled to work today at the homestead at the Peppermint Meadows stables out in Plain City. Prince Nia's Glass domain does extend that far. Columbus is a large metropolitan area, but at your populace, expansion was necessary. You're not scheduled to work today. However, you receive a phone call that there is an emergency on site. There's something happening with some of the animals, and they're calling all of the employees in. And that includes you. No other information is disclosed over the phone. That's just the phone call that you get from the stable master that is calling everyone in. You can tell on the phone that he sounds patiently frantic in a way, if that makes sense. Like he's already dialing the next number before he even terminates the phone call with you. Yeah. That type of urgency. And you know that you're being called in to the Peppermint Meadow stables in Plain City. Now, before we tee this up to your journey over here, Leah, I need you and Joe to talk me through the Peppermint Meadow stable. What is the vibe of this homestead, of these stables? What is the spirit of it? What type of business do they conduct? Just kind of give us the canvas of this place where you work. And I'm going to start with you, Traci, because this is your baby.
Yeah.
This is where you're generating income to bridge the gap in your poverty and the needs that your mothers are placing on you for medical care.
Yeah. So, Joe, is it Fox Hollow? Fox Hollow. That's what
Yeah. Yeah.
So Joe and I have been to a farm similar to what I'm envisioning. So
Got
just
it.
kind of
Okay.
teeing him up to understand.
Beautiful. So the
So,
two of you can take it. Yeah.
yeah.
Talk us through
So,
Peppermint Meadows.
yeah. So it's a generational farm.
Okay.
The current owners are in their 30s. They are, and the farm initially belonged to their parents. And while their parents ran a farm, this family now is currently kind of trying to make it like a farm to table kind of experience. They do tours. Essentially, they're trying to educate as well as breed specific animals that are most suited to Ohio.
Okay.
Right? The heritage hogs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so every so often they have events where they have people come out and they do farm to table meals and teach people how to forage and things like that. But that is where Leah does a large deal of her feeding. Now,
Yes.
Leah feeds. She's not a glutton. She tries to be careful. She doesn't want to kill an animal. The second she gets that phone call, though, she's not dead. Or, well, she is dead. She's not alive. But I'm sure that feeling of hollow dread sinks in. Joe, are there any details that you would like to add to kind of clarify? Because I envision it easily because I've been there.
Yeah, so I think you can picture it as a sort of middle-class farmstead, right? It's not like one of those big opulent things. They have a very normal house. A lot of the stuff here, they have sort of constructed themselves and they're good at it, but it doesn't look like it's professionally done or done in bulk. There is a very long, bumpy driveway leading up to the actual farm. So like from the road to the property is a big, long stretch. Like it's maybe a mile back there. And you can see the road the whole way. You're sort of like running parallel to it. And then apart from that, it's paddocks, it's, grazing land. There's probably 3 or 4 largish barns that hold varying types of animals, cows, chickens, pigs.
And it's very clear that they care about these are free range animals. They care very deeply about how their animals are raised because it's part of their ethic.
Their ethics, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming these animals have names. They are
Probably some of them,
genuinely
especially
loved.
the chickens. So easy to name chickens.
Perfect. So, Leah, Bridgett lost that name that fast. The Peppermint Meadows Stables is out in Plain City. So at this point, you have separated yourself from the greater metropolitan area of Columbus. So it's way less busy. The population isn't as dense. This is one of those areas where there are just acres and acres of farmland, whether that is going to be wheat, whether that's going to be corn, whether that's going to be livestock, whether that's just grass. It's very beautiful in Plain City. It's very quiet. There are large stretches of just green grass and blue skies that were just with the white pillows that flow above it. And you are, the sun has set at this point. This seems to be an evening call, which is also very concerning on a few levels, but you are making your way out Plain City with some of the roads. Maybe you have street lights on some of these country roads. Maybe you don't, but you're mostly relying on your headlights. You cross over several abandoned crossroad tracks that, lead into the forest areas to your right and your left. These are the ones with the guardrails are already pulled down. These are just ancient echoes of Ohio's history in the background. You do pass the Der Dutchman restaurant, which is an Amish restaurant that is, if you're unfamiliar with it, this is going to be one of those large Amish buffets where they serve everything from coffee to fried chicken to slow roasted meats. They have their own gift shop. They have their own bakery. The lines on Sundays are usually wrapped around the building. It's very rich, very beautiful comfort food. And you pass the Der Dutchman every single time that you are on your way to the Peppermint Meadows. And the donuts are literally one of the kind. I would argue. I would put Der Dutchman's donuts against Buckeye Donuts or anyone in the city.
Yeah. Best donuts in Ohio for sure.
Yeah. That just hit our Zoom chat. Sorry for the break in immersion, but that was worth it because their donuts do slap.
Yes.
The dirt Dutchman closes at 8 p.m. So you're used to passing this restaurant, this gift shop, this almost, I would say, community when there are no cars at all in the parking lot. But as you pass, and I'm going to assume you're driving a little faster than you probably should be, as your nerves and your nervous system is coming online, going, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? You catch this in your periphery just before the car swerves. You're able to maintain your grip onto the steering wheel and continue forward. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There may be a dozen cart and buggy horses all in the parking lot of the Dirt Dutchman. You can see an entire community of Amish people who are either occupying the buggies or standing around. And it's just one of those very eerie things, Leah. And that's when the car swerves. As you pass them, it just feels like there are 80 sets of eyes from 40 individuals that just follow you from beneath wide brim hats, from beneath bonnets. Maybe they're having a meeting. Maybe something happened. It's just a disconcerting sight, almost like this silhouette of Amish who are watching your car go by. But that's a problem that is now going to be in your rear view because you have something happening in front of you. Leah, I'm going to tee this up to you first, and then Joe, I'm going to pull you on to the storyteller angle with me. What animals do you typically feed on here at the Peppermint Meadows stables?
Largely the hardier ones, the cows, horses, the older pigs. Anything
Cows,
that could,
horses, older pigs. Okay.
it would have more blood by volume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to kill them.
No.
I just want to take a little off the top. I'm used to hunger, so I'm always a little hungry.
Always. You pull up this bumbling, beautifully articulated driveway. There are so many cars here, Leah. They called everyone in. Even the massive oversized driveway can't accommodate just the quantity of cars. You're going to have to pull this little ragtag automobile, onto the grass. And as you approach, you're directed back to the stables. A few people are walking back and forth on phone calls. One of the younger volunteers is standing next to a tree crying. Her face is completely awash with tears as she's doing her best to try to bring herself down. And what you see in the stable area, there's nothing really to prepare you for this.
Mm-hmm.
There's a collection of staff of the Peppermint Meadows stables that are all gathered in various states of confusion, disrepair, heartbreak. You said yourself they genuinely love these animals. And you have 3 horses that have been euthanized. They're on the ground. The blood is still pooling around them. There are a series of pigs that have been put down. What else did you say you fed on? It was horses typically?
Cattle.
Cows and pigs.
Yep.
And you can see a shotgun hanging on the back of the owner of this stable as he is listening to the very quick and confused medical advice from the local veterinarian that's in this area. Like they either travel to you or they host any of their surgeries, operations out of their own home. They're
Right.
talking to a local veterinarian. They're also discussing with this individual. His name is Jebediah. I can find my notes really fast. This next individual, his name is Jebediah Zook, Zook. He is currently kneeling at one of the horses that's been put down, and he is in his standard clothing that you always see him in. So this is the black suit that doesn't have a collar or lapel or any outside pockets, the plain white shirt, suspenders, of course. Everything that he dresses, like most of the Amish in this area, emphasize simplicity and practicality. He's wearing a bloodied stable apron. He still has on his wide brim or the broad brim straw cap. And you are looking at his dark eyes as he is pulling something from the inside of this horse, this deceased horse. Now, this is where I'm stepping out of the storyteller seat, and I'm going to bring this up over to Joe. Joe, something is infecting the animals that Leah has been feeding on. For whatever reason, it's all happening now, but I haven't written what that is. Now, in the confines of the story, I am teeing you up to help me explain to Leah and our viewers what it is that her feeding is doing to these animals. You have the deceased ones that you can deal with, and I intentionally left one of the categories open. So if you want to experience what some of the cows that she's been feeding on are going through, we can do that too. Something is happening to the animals that Leah feeds on. Talk me through it.
Ugh. Okay. So let's see. Give me 1 second here. I have an idea. Um, yeah. So I think what we're seeing here is it's probably right now, like if this animal's deceased, he's probably going right for the gusto, right? So he's pulling out, I think, the heart, which is like just withered, like about half the size it should be. And like bits of it are maybe almost like peeling away in places, like the muscle flaps have come loose. It looks Leah's probably gotten much more familiar with, the actual color of blood, when it's coming out of a live person, but it's dark. Like it's darker than you would think a heart would be. It's just a gross color. It is let's say it looks, I don't know, like a used heart.
Oh. And that's what Jebediah Zook is extracting from the inside of this horse. And Leah, as you approach, he looks to you, and you can feel just in this moment that he is seeing through you. Something feels accusatory, but that passes as you watch him set this used, melted, shriveled black heart out of this horse. This horse had a name. What was that horse's name? Oh, Traci, I'm going to make you do it. What was this horse's name?
I think they called it Cherry Garcia.
Cherry Garcia. And Zebediah Zook rises, and places this heart next to another 6 that look just like it on a table. This black ichor, this blood is spilling or running, doesn't feel authentic to just this molasses pool that's coming out of it. And Joe, question for you. Is it interesting for the story that the various cows that Leah has fed on recognize her as a threat and begin to respond? Or is that...
Yeah, I think they probably are a little uncomfortable around
What
her.
does discomfort look like?
I think it looks like a mild, like they're probably already nervous.
Yeah.
So it's going to shift their agitation level up one, right? So now, apart from just being a little bit shifty, now maybe I think they're moving away to the other side of the barn.
Ooh. Leah, that's what you walk into.
I think before I get any closer, that man, like, she kind of covered up her scar. She doesn't do that around vampires. But there was just something about the way that man looked at me that instinctually kind of made me feel small. And I think I pull out my cheap flip phone, and the first thing I do is, just instinctually, I text Justice before anything else happens, because he's far. And unless he's particularly close for some reason, we're talking an hour out of town.
An hour out of town. Exactly.
So I'll text him Something's up at farm. He and I have already discussed where I've been working. I don't do any of that in secret from him. I want him to know where I am on those nights. So I just say, something's up at farm. It's bad. And then she'll say, dead animals, Amish question mark. And then as an afterthought, she'll really quickly say,
somewhere right now, Justice is thinking, I don't think animals can be Amish.
smartass.
Wherever Justice is, because if I remember correctly, he's getting this on a beeper,
away,
right?
Like, he's not, yeah,
He's getting it on a beeper. That's why I'm trying to send short messages.
Short little, yeah.
They're not Amish.
And then I'll say, it'll say, avoid Dare Dutchman.
Avoid Dare Dutchman.
That sounds like such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
And like her, it will make sense, I suppose. In her brain, that's she's trying to get him the most amount of information as quickly as she can, and is immediately looking, okay, the car, is it in her name? I can't remember. I have my wallet with me. She's known this farm for a couple months now.
Yeah.
And I suspect she's found lots of places to hide in case the sun is hot and her hat is gone, or she's forgotten an umbrella or a parasol. I think on the farm, she's probably the closest thing to like a goth weirdo they have.
Yeah.
But she works hard.
Yeah.
And so they kind of allow her, like, okay, she sometimes walks around with parasols. It's just Leah. It's a goth thing, maybe. I don't know. She's not necessarily goth, but
no, but that's how they compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
And the animals love you. So they just, you work hard.
But she's probably found a few places in this area around the woods and things that she can hide if she needs to, in case the sun catches her in a place where she can't cover herself. And she's running through that Rolodex in her mind right now. If I need to run, where can I go until he can get to me? And shit, do I know all these people's names? If he comes here, is he gonna kill everybody? That's usually his MO.
And this could be a really bad masquerade breach.
Oh, yeah.
That means the entire farm has to be exterminated, and the Nas float a story about whatever happened. That message to Justice could have just sealed the death warrant on every person here.
I think you get a message back. I don't even think it's long, unfortunately, because you said it's bad. So I just think you get a message back that says 30 minutes.
Justice, her first statement about Amish animals was just confusing, but it's also Leah. 80% of the time, you really don't know what the fuck she's trying to say or trying to articulate. It's so easy to miss the facts under all of those goddamn feelings. Very easy just to drown them out. But there is something that she says that strikes you immediately, and it probably puts some urgency on your commute all the way out to Plain City, is Amish question mark. You know that Plain City has a small pocket of very old, very traditional, very unsettling, independent gangrel.
Okay, that's gonna be fun. Okay. Yeah, 30 minutes then. That's a tricky traffic situation, but it's gonna happen.
Leo, what do you do as right now there's not a whole lot of information being exchanged because they don't want this to leak to the press. They don't know whether or not this is a water contamination. They don't know whether this is airborne. They don't know if this is their food. They don't know if it's sabotage. Right now it's just a volume of grief and fear and confusion. So you're being asked questions by, 5 or 10 people, but just like, what have you heard? Were they like this yesterday? Have you ever heard anything like this before? People are trying to hop onto the internet, but the signal is already coming back strange. And that's not overly surprising in Plain City. It could be concerning if another kindred is aware and they've already put a freeze on this area.
Yeah.
and you're dead center of it. There's a lot happening. How are you metabolizing this? How are you working? And I'm just going to put into your periphery as you're going through this, whatever you're going through is going to end with a cow, very large, very angry cow, running full speed at a wall, trying to get to you from the other side of it.
I think, first of all, she'll think about her own needs later. She'll think about her own feelings later. She's just taking in all this suffering, and it's her fucking fault. These people that she does genuinely care for, the animals that she does genuinely care for. And yes, she knew their names. She brushed them when they needed brushed and cleaned their slop and took care of them and nurtured them. And she brought this here. So I think, initially she's trying to comfort. That's her initial instincts are to comfort. Yes, there is the fear in the back of her head. This is a problem. This is a problem. I did this. What do we do? And I think her first instincts are to comfort. She doesn't want to make too big of a scene. She doesn't want to make no scene.
Right.
So again, she's trying to live in the balance like she always does. Not too vampire-y, not too human. She's not too upset that she draws a scene to herself, but she's also, again, she lives on the edge of a blade constantly. And so I think while her instinct is to comfort, she doesn't do it big.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to answer the questions as honestly and truthfully as she can. No, she's never seen anything like this. Yes, yesterday they were fine. They were all doing normal things. And I think there's a moment where she's like, in the back of her head, she sees the motel room and she sees heads explode and she sees people clutching to each other and she sees justice coming in on the other end of that gun. And she's got like, I got to send him another text. And literally I think she can just, as quickly as she can, please don't X everyone.
Oh, and I think that's a stunning point for that cow to go slamming face first into a wall. I actually love the idea that the phone drops from your hand just from the sheer startle of it as wood begins to splinter and fray, and this cow bellows out in pain, in anger, in betrayal, in hurt, and it backs up to do it again. The second contact, the neck breaks. The cow stumbles and collapses, and something almost enveloped in mucus and flesh begins to bubble out of its mouth and pour onto the ground. And it's about that moment when you feel a piercing pinch onto the inside of your wrist, Leah, and you look up and you're spun and you are face to face with Jebediah Zook, and he growls at you. Railroad tracks 57. You and your owner meet me there. Go.
Bridgett, I would like you to give me a difficulty to see if I remember to grab my phone on the ground.
Oh, I absolutely love this. Let's just do a static shock, baby.
Yep.
All right, we're going in 3, 2, 1, throw them.
Rock.
I threw a rock as well. I am going to tee this up actually over to Joe. Joe, if I am looking at a static challenge right now, standard would be 4, difficult would be 6, challenging would be 8. What do you think this is sitting at for her right now?
Because it's also a masquerade breach.
Mm-hmm.
And if I forget that,
I think it's a 6.
We like a 6?
Yeah.
We like a 6?
She's real distracted.
Okay, so what is my pool here?
I like resolve and awareness personally. Co-storyteller, would you argue against that, or do you like it as well?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, let's do. You're able to your ability to remain resolute here, your resolve, and then your awareness, your situational awareness of what's going on, the potential breach, your phone being left. So whatever your dots are on that.
My dots are 5.
Oh, and difficulty was a 6.
Yep.
You know where you need to go. You need to get there now.
And I'm terrified. And I'm horrified about the cow. I think she just assumes it's in her pocket because she probably doesn't even think about the phone. She probably doesn't even think about the phone because her phone's always in her pocket. So I don't think there is anything necessarily on her phone that is outright a breach. But if this person's a gangrel, they'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, she runs to her car and like she makes a face and makes a sound like she is crying. And for all intents and purposes, she is crying as much as she can. Again, those tears can kill.
Those tears are a breach. Those tears can kill. And as you are choking back that last sob, you hear the bang of another firearm being discharged. Justice, what does this look like when you pull up to the abandoned railroad tracks on 57? You know exactly what we're talking about right now.
Am I pulling up to the abandoned railroad tracks? She didn't tell me.
Oh, no, absolutely. You actually are not. Thank you for the continuity on that one because what was the last text you sent before that? It was, please don't kill everybody. Please don't X everybody. But you never said meet me at 7:57.
I legitimately think that what happens is I pull up to the entrance to the farm and then I see a text from her that says, please don't kill everybody. I'm not going to check my phone while I'm driving.
That is good.
I need both hands. I'm on a motorcycle for crying out loud.
That is really good. Okay.
I will. You know what? Once I think I realize I need to tell him that the location has changed.
Yeah, you're at 57 and you're just like, where's my phone?
I might try and text him on the way, realize my phone is gone. I can't go back. So I'll stop somewhere along those empty roads.
Yep.
To try and flag him down.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Is everyone okay with that one for a continuity? Because you know the direction he's coming in. 57 is yep.
What have I got? That's a 3. Hold on. What would you say is no, it's probably like a 5 difficulty. It might be higher than that.
What you thinking?
Well, what I'm thinking is if I'm driving like a bat out of hell down the street and like she's standing in the middle of the road, there's a very good chance I'm about to swerve into a ditch here.
Oh, God.
Or my story could end real fast.
Oh, you're right. I was like, man, Traci, it's been great playing with you. I can't wait to see what you roll next. No, I'm going to say if she's in the middle of the road, because we've already established that these are really dark roads with like the intermittent lights. Yep. If she's on the road with her headlights on, or when she sees your headlights approaching, is able to flag, I'll say that you probably put that at like a standard or a 4.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think we need to chop that out.
No, I think we're good. We're good.
So I will, So Justice pulls up and like literally just sort of stops right next to where you are on the road.
It's bad. It's bad. This Amish guy, he's the vet.
Yeah.
Their hearts were. His name is Jebediah Zook. He's been around forever.
I know.
He's helped take care of there's something wrong. The animals that I fed off of, they were sick. He wants us to meet at the railroad tracks. He knew I had a keeper.
The animals that you fed off are sick.
Yeah.
All of them?
I think so. They're all going crazy and dying, and one of them, this has never happened before. Do we kill people when we eat off of them? Do we infect them with something? Is this normal?
No.
I left my phone. I don't know how to wipe it. Um,
I'm going to take off my helmet and hand it to you.
Mm.
she takes it.
Get on the bike. Park this thing somewhere.
There's a
No
couple
sense
of
in taking 2 cars.
okay. In the many times that I have driven here in the day and at night,
Mm-hmm.
there are lots of those side roads that kind of branch off that kind of start into the woods, but then the old roads just died because nobody uses them anymore. But they go kind of into the tree line a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to find one of those little offshoots, pull my car in, um, try and cover it as much as I can in stuff to kind of hide it. But we're also in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do as thorough a job, I think, as I would have given enough time.
And this is Plain City. You're
Yeah.
not the first person to stop a car here to carpool, to go get high, to hide a body. This is fine. It's
To
Plain
make
City.
out.
You're not the first
To
person
make
to hide
out.
body in the
This is fine.
All
You're
right.
able to stash the car.
Where are we going?
We're going to the train tracks off of 57.
Okay. I don't know where
I'm
that is.
sorry.
I hate Plain City. Where is that?
I'll show you.
Okay.
And she'll give him directions and tap right or tap left when he needs to turn in a certain direction and
Deal.
shout at him. Like,
Now that I know that they want to talk to us, now I'm not in a hurry. So I'll take it slow.
You're able to almost compartmentalize. The situation is drenched in chaos, but there's something running through it that you can at least attach onto.
Mhm.
Someone wants to speak with you, and you have an idea of who this community is. You have a very good idea of who this
Yeah.
particular community is.
All right.
Leah, you guide Justice to the abandoned railroad tracks, and you guys know, especially if you're anywhere in Ohio, you know exactly what this is with just the numerous amount of abandoned tracks. This is where you go over the small hump, and the iron is still embedded into the cement that's falling apart on both sides.
Yep,
And then
yep.
gravel stretches out for the first 200 feet, and then the forest picks up, and then it's just forest and iron and gravel for as long as the eye can see. These particular tracks do have and I'm going to mispronounce this word. I actually went on Google, and Google gave me 2 different pronunciations for it. Are they called catenary or catenary arches? You guys know?
nope, sure don't.
All
I
by
don't.
myself. Okay, then
No.
I'm doing catenary, and YouTube, y'all can argue with me in the comments. I'm going to ignore it anyways. So lining these railroad tracks are catenary arches. These are sometimes wood, sometimes steel, sometimes metal, sometimes otherwise. But you know that back when these systems were in use, that these arch-shaped structures were the overhead system that delivered electricity to electric locomotives and rail vehicles moving back and forth. There's an elegance to them. There's a beauty to the architectural design of these catenary arches. I mean, just the perfect curve has been employed from ancient times, guys. It's the underlying principle for vaults and buttresses in Gothic cathedrals and Renaissance domes. Not like the parabolic arch. This is something older, something more beautiful. And just, Leah, as you are standing there on the tracks, wondering whether or not this guy is going to be 200 or 300 feet into your right or your left, and you're just looking down a row of these catenary arches, it just feels like you're looking down High Street with the arches that overlook the street. It's just one of those moments where you blink, and thank you. It's just where you blink and you feel like you're looking down High Street, and then you blink back, and you're suspended in that moment, Leah, of gunshots ringing in your head, people crying and grieving and suffering, a cow that would rather die than to suffer your presence.
Ooh.
Black shriveled hearts and whatever bulbous thing it birthed out of its throat. You're kind of suspended looking down the catenary arches there, and Justice, it's you that can see half a mile up the road to the right on 57 and to the left, just one by one, these carts and buggies arrive and then stop. you've got 6 on one side blocking the road. You've got 7 on the other side blocking the road. And then a single cart and buggy approaches. And you recognize not the face, not the voice, but the scent, the presence, and the power of Jebediah Zook. It's one of those things when you see him that your first thought might be like, how the fuck wasn't he beckoned already? He should have been. So one of two things is wrong. Either generationally he isn't, or somehow he skipped it, or somehow it didn't touch him. But that's not possible. No one has been able to escape that call. So generationally, you just must have it wrong. There's a tall, overly powerful horse that is pulling it, and you look at the horse and you're just like, that's one of two things, and I'll let your imagination go either way, but it's absolutely not a horse. The one animal that is with him is a massive Bernese mountain dog that is a floof of dirty brown and black and white that is sitting up front with Jebediah. He steps off of the cart and he approaches you. And he always has this vibe about him, like he's not in a hurry, or he's unbothered, or just nothing really rushes him. Maybe that comes with age. Maybe that comes with confidence. Maybe that comes with what you know that he is. And he looks to you. Justice?
Evening.
And then he stares at you.
I think for just a moment, there is something in her that can't help herself. She's standing by Justice and reaches for like his shirt tail.
I didn't notice right away. That's fine. I'm certainly not going to call that out. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give him a minute. He's the one that called the meeting, so I don't have anything to say right now because I don't know what the hell's going on.
If you're getting ready to speak, I'd advise you not to. We get a call from the meadows that the animals are behaving curiously. We arrive to the meadows and the animals begin dying curiously. We inspect the animals at the meadows and you're sitting on 12, 13, 14 breeches that I'm sure your whore prince is not going to like at all.
Is that what we're sitting on?
That's what we're sitting on. Justice. Now, I'm able to piece together a few items. And I'm going to assume that mutt that you've been dragging around has been feeding on the animals that are now infected. Is she feeding on humans within that whore's prince domain? And you can tell he's intentionally antagonizing you. He's pushing you. But that's what Gangrel do.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't matter if she is. It's none of your business. Unless you want to move.
No, Justice, we're not moving.
Okay.
These are ours. Those animals were under our eyes when whatever this is happening. Why is this thin blood walking around our state? Is this not your job? And he just continues to drop whore, which is absolutely atypical for anything that should be coming from an Amish individual's mouth. You can tell that his beast is speaking more than he is.
Okay.
Why is she allowing this thing to exist?
You kiss the Lord with that mouth. It's her business, not mine.
Are you not of your prince's business? Do you
I
not
am.
serve her court?
I am. I'm just not in charge. You can ask her if you want. It's not the call I would have made, but here we are. What I want to know is, why is it just the animals in your domain that are dying? Because this isn't the only place she's fed. That's curious.
And then
You been
she's
doing
gonna-
something to your animals?
Oh. Hey, can we throw a chopper real fast?
Yeah.
Yes. We're going in 3, 2, 1.
It's the scissors again.
Oh God, I got the paper. Give me just a quick second. Because what you're not going to do is come into his house after this tragedy and talk shit to him to his face like that. He can do it to you, but that's not what we're going to do today. Okay, so I just failed my frenzy chop.
Awesome. I'm for it.
Yep, this is absolutely great. Once the vampire's frenzy, she da-da-da-da-da. Is there anything? I did not choose to use the willpower. I'm just gonna go and frenzy and have a good time on this one until one of you guys calm me down. So this is gonna be a humiliation frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be focused on the target of my provocation, which is going to be you.
Hi.
And I am super excited about this one. Okay, so being that we're going into combat rounds at this point, here's our first option per By Night Studios rules. First step for combat, mediation. Do you want to go chop by chop or do you want to mediate this?
Chop by chop doesn't sound like very exciting.
I love mediation personally. I loved our first mediated mass combat.
Here's what I'm gonna say. The goal here really, like, so obviously I was trying to take him off. So this isn't a surprise.
No,
right?
You succeeded. Yes.
Now the goal is just to, live through that.
Yeah.
I think the first thing Justice does is he kicks back real hard to shove Leah back a ways. Like, I have a little bit of fortitude. I'm not but not as much as I need for this.
Okay.
So I think what is going to happen here is I'm going to wait for her I'm going to try to clear some space. And then this is mostly going to be like fucking Soaring Leap and Cat's Grace and just letting this guy chase me.
Okay.
And I'm absolutely going to take some hits while that happens. So for sure.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Traci, here's how I'm bringing you in. I've already teed this up. That horse is not a horse.
Yeah.
So you have his gangrel child that you're going to be playing.
Amazing.
So you got your Zook's child.
Okay.
Right now, but you've got your full scope of Protean. We're not using sheets, so you're more than welcome to handle your shape shifting however you want, and I will handle Zook. So we're just going to narrate this deliciously. The one thing I will say, Justice, from a storyteller tactical standpoint, this was actually your smartest play.
Oh, good. I had no idea.
For what it's worth, this is your smartest play because the way this particular individual is built, and Justice may know this even if Joe does not, a challenge was going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Something of yours came into his house and disrespected and upset the ecosystem in his house. So a challenge was going to happen anyways. And you absolutely positively were not going to be able to face this guy and live toe on toe. I actually have in my notes, Justice may die in this scene. I was prepared to kill you this recording.
How could you do that to me?
but it was going to be a great story for you, Leah. But a frenzy vampire, as horrifying as that is going to be a lot better than one that has his full range of disciplines, capacity, tactical faculties together.
Yep.
This technically played out well for you. That was a great decision and a great chop. So let's mediate this. You drop the statement of like, well, it's not happening anywhere else. What are you doing in your house that is promoting this type of nonsense? It almost feels like time freezes. His pupils dilate to the point that it just consumes everything in his eye. Leah, you recognize that same growl that he growled at you, except this one is far more robust. It vibrates the inside of his rib cage. He snarls as his fangs drop, as his fingers elongate, as his claws retract, and he's on you.
Yeah, that's where
it's a launch.
So like
that's my narrative. Who's next?
The claws come out, the eyes dilate, and then suddenly Leah's like woof, like moving backwards. You're zooming out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. This is great that she would like drop off of the corner of that ditch where she would roll and at least be down beneath where the height is. That's my narrative. Who's next? I launch.
Okay, so I am now a horse gangrel.
You are a horse gangrel, correct? You
A
can come
real
up with your
horse
own
girl.
name, but you are Zook's daughter,
Um,
who's
I mean,
probably
I feel
more
like
level-headed than he is. But it's your character. I'm gonna let you do
I
what you
feel
want
like
to
her
do with
name
it.
has to be Rachel.
Rachel Zook. I love it.
Rachel Zook. Um, and I think that she is she has seen these things before. They're outnumbered. There's two of these. One of them's not even a vampire, but really.
Right.
So if this is going to happen, she's going to make sure that she is close to her kin, and essentially be there as backup. She
Okay.
doesn't necessarily in this moment feel like she needs to take action because, again, there's one guy who's probably going to put up a little bit of a fight. There's a dozen of them.
Yeah.
And there's essentially there's a rat, and they're not even really worried about the rat. She won't get far on her own. So
No.
I think the idea is she's going to try and stay with her sire as long as she can.
Okay. Does she
So
come out of horse form, or does she stay as the big, beautiful brown horse?
Yeah, no, she's a real horse girl at heart. And plus she's faster on hooves.
I absolutely love it. Quick question for you, Traci.
Yeah.
The Bernese Mountain Dog, is that your ghoul or is that Dad's ghoul?
I think that was probably Dad's ghoul before I even existed.
Oh. Ooh.
The dog gets fed before you do at dinner time.
Possibly.
Disrespect of it.
Possibly.
Well, one is being driven and the other one is riding next to Dad. That might talk to some really interesting mechanics or dynamics in that family. Joe, what's your narrative? I've launched.
I mean, literally the first thing that happens, because he shoved Leah, he just gets hit. Like that's not,
Okay.
you can't avoid that.
Okay.
He made that choice. Now, to be fair, Justice is real good in a fist fight, right? So like he's got like a solid 7 dice pool. That's not bad in a fight. So I think what we're looking at is he's going to take a hit there.
Okay.
Maybe give this guy a good shove to create some space.
Okay.
And then he's going to try to like hit a is there like an electrical hum happening here or no?
No, this is all old and abandoned.
He's probably going for the arches then. Because like it's more like poles than trees here, right? So that's probably got to be it.
Look at her face. Oh no. Oh no.
Nope, this is good mediation. I love it. I love this mechanic. Okay, so just give me a quick narrative really fast, Joe, on what this looks like when he does get a solid land on you. And I feel like with his protean claws, it's probably aggravated damage. You're probably going to have to rouse blood at the beginning of the next round if you want to keep that. But just like, did he go for the face? Did he bite at your shoulder? Did he open up a rib cage? What did he do when he landed on you?
I think he goes for the face. I think his first thought is like, you shut your mouth. So I think he's going for the mouth.
Oh, I like that. I like that. He's coming for your tongue. He's coming for your lips. He walked into his house and disrespected him. He's going for the face.
Yeah. No. I think I take it right across the face.
Oh, God. I absolutely just love the idea that his claws are just coming in, digging, and you can feel not only your skin and your muscle opening up, but you can feel that peel as those very familiar gangrel claws just begin to rend through your face, and you start tasting your own blood. Your own blood is pouring into your eyes.
Yeah.
And then you're running towards the arches?
No, I'm going to soaring leap towards the arches. Because that's faster.
That's good. What does that look like?
I think it looks like a bad special effect if I'm being perfectly honest. Because like it's just a jump, right? Like I literally just jump and it just keeps going.
Okay.
And if he hits a pole first, then I'll kick on Cat's Grace and just kind of hang. And if I hit like something a little more solid that he can get on top of, then he'll do that.
Oh, do you want to be perched on top of the first arch that's covering the?
That'd be ideal, yeah.
I mean, that's very gangrel, feline, delicious. So I love it. So you're able to pull yourself away from this frenzied gangrel, and you take the single leap, and you go several feet down, and you land onto the arch. Traci, here's my question: what is Leah doing right now? I know you're playing 2 characters, but what is Leah doing right now?
Yeah, no. So I mean, she gets thrown back, and she's not tough. I think that it not literally she gets the wind knocked out of her, which
Okay.
would not matter to a vampire.
Vampire. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
But she's like half of each.
Yeah.
And so I think for a minute, like her vision swims, she takes damage like a human.
Yes, she
She does
does.
not take damage like a vampire. And she cannot rouse blood to heal herself.
That's right.
So I think he knocks her back to save her. And for a minute, her vision swims and like her chest collapses for a second, like from the wind getting knocked out of her. And I think it takes her a second to really even understand what just happened. Because it happened so fast.
Yeah.
And all of the time that she's been practicing with this gun, doesn't matter if you get kind of jumped first. And so I think she spends a minute trying to scramble and get to her senses, and feeling in the small of her back for her gun.
Okay.
Which with her luck probably got
was
knocked out.
Thrown out and knocked out. Yes, on the other side of the railroad tracks at this point.
Yeah.
Leah is hemorrhaging resources at this point. Her phone, her gun, her dignity. All of these things are just pouring from Leah at this point. Okay, Leah, your vision swims for a moment as you're trying to come through. I'm going to give you a single point of lethal damage because I actually kind of like the idea that this gang girl was just get her out of here and then actually did damage to her when she landed. I absolutely love that. I love that the wind got knocked out of you, so you're seizing and gasping for air. And you know that irritating peripheral sound when a monitor isn't plugged in all the way? That almost ethereal whirl sound, you hear that. And then in an instant, it goes from that periphery sound to running through your entire nervous system as if it's embodying it. And it hurts.
Oh.
Everything goes dark and you blink awake and you're in a dark room. You just get the feeling that it's underground somewhere. Zed or Zook is also in this room, still frenzied, confused. And Justice, you are somewhere in the rafters of this dark, seedy room. The three of you are displaced and in this moment here. And this is what you see. At the center of this room is a stone table that's been outfitted with decorative mahogany and a few fun metals, but it's very clean. It's very level, and it feels very old. It almost feels ancient, as if this room were constructed around this table, not that this table was ever built or, put in this room. And there are a handful of vampires that are sitting around this table having a discussion. You see Mr. Prim, who is sitting with his legs crossed and his hands folded into his lap. His elbow is hanging off of the side of the table. Standing directly behind him, you see Edmund, who is also in a astonishing, well-tailored suit.
That's going to do things.
You see Nia Glass, who is sitting on the opposite side of this round table. Her hands are also folded in her lap, and it looks like she's looking up to Edmund. There's a respect and an acknowledgement that's happening between these words that they're speaking that you can't hear. There is a woman that is pacing on the outside of this table who is watching. And there's another man, very effeminate, that Justice may recognize. Justice, throw me a quick chop real fast.
Yep.
All right, going in 3, 2, 1.
I threw the paper.
I threw the scissors.
No.
Do not recognize this individual, but there's something about the way they move. There's something about the way that they feel. There's something about the slight alterations that you're able to barely pick up. This individual has access to Protean. And there are only 3 clans that have it naturally. The Gangrel, the Ministry, and the Zemis. And just based on the slight alterations that you're seeing, the flesh crafting, the vicissitude, it's not a gangrel. This is very likely a Zemis, which for our viewers, just very briefly, these are not allowed into the Camarilla. Anarchs will barely tolerate them. These are members of the Sabbat, but the Sabbat is all but gone at this point. They were wrecked during the beckoning. So they have these little small guerrilla pockets that move up and mostly get put down and move up, but they're fleeing wherever they can because they don't have a stronghold anymore. These individuals are gathered around this table and they're speaking in words that you can't hear. It's almost like it's on the fringes, it's in the periphery, it's in an echo. But you do all hear with exacting clarity Edmund make the statement. We need to discuss our forecast. Our timing couldn't have been more wrong. And Leah, you feel that moment run through your nervous system again as you begin to weep vitae, and you're out of that moment. And you are back on the railroad tracks. And even Jebediah is, even in his frenzy and his complete feral, unhinged moment, is still like, what the fuck was that? And then he's going to go right back to frenzy.
How are they dressed?
Leah, how are we handling that moment? There was a lot in there for you.
Real quick question. How are they dressed?
How are they dressed? Everyone that was in that room?
Yeah.
Looked like they were there for a business meeting.
Did it look modern? Did it look like 80s chic? Like, what are we talking about? Can we pick a decade out of this?
Ooh, this looks modern.
Okay.
This looks modern.
So something fairly recent.
So just to tie this up in a weird break of immersion moment, you're going to get 3 scenes. One is past, one is present, one is future. And then you two at the end of these scenes get to choose what they are.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So that's the way I have this particular scene and mechanic tied up. You're going to get 3 visions. And at the very end, the players actually get to choose whether this is past, future, or present.
That's awesome. Okay.
So, I know, Lydia. If you can convince Joe to do it, this could get real interesting real fast. Leah, how are you holding up? This is a lot.
I think, look, it would have been enough just to have kind of like sidetracked into a memory or into a scene out of nowhere that clearly wasn't here. Like, that is so disconcerting. Like, there's no way to really fully understand that.
Yeah.
She saw Edmund. She heard his voice. And his blood is no longer in her veins. But the promise of what he would do for her and her family is stronger to her than the lack of his blood. And I think there is a moment that, again, it's like the air got knocked out of her again. But this is just purely emotion. The first man that offered any generosity of kindness and to her, and she wants so badly for him to come back. Every opportunity she can, she thinks maybe he's coming back now, maybe he'll be back. And for just a moment, that wish when someone dies, that I wish I just had one more second, I could hear their voice one more time, and it completely takes her out of whatever is happening in here, and all she can think about is she got to hear his voice again. She got to hear his voice again. And when in time that happens, she doesn't care right now. She had another moment with him. She has another memory with him. And I think it distracts from whatever else is going on around her.
Absolute stunning articulation. Joe, what happens next in this mediation? Because I'm still frenzied.
Okay, well, Leah's a little distracted right now, so she's not going to be very useful for trying to talk this guy down. Good news, me neither. It's not what I'm good at. So I mean, at the very least, for the moment, he's down there and I'm up here. How solidly attached are these wires? Like, can I yank on one of them?
Yeah,
I don't have anything up here, so. Yeah,
no, these are like the wires. I would say the physical wires are probably gone out of these catenary arches, but the tubes that they would have been lined in or secured in are still there. So yeah, you can actually pull some of those out.
Okay, that's fine. Like some of the, like whatever was inside the.
Yeah, some of the insulation, the tubing. Yeah.
I don't know if I can make too much use of that. That's fine. I'll hang on to that. So basically, from up top there, he's just gonna say, Ah, like he's gonna shout down and say, "Did you come here to start a war?" And try to like rationalize him down a little bit. And physically, he's just gonna hold and see what happens. No, that's not true. I will grab something. I'll grab some of the. I'll use rapid reflexes to grab some of the tubing just in case I need it for anything.
Ooh, okay.
I'll wait and see what this guy has to say, and then hold a proper action.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Carl, apologies for the pause on this one. I did just want to verify really fast. I know all the fun stuff that comes with me frenzying, but I don't remember how in this system you can actually bring somebody out of frenzy. That's resist frenzy. That's resist frenzy. If I can't find it within the next 4 seconds, I'm about to make some shit up and call it a day. What are
Yeah,
they gonna do? Argue with me?
a lot of times
Yeah.
you can use. Do they have? I'm just trying to make sure that.
Like, do they have a quail in this game?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Fortunately,
his
the horse
his
does.
daughter might though. His daughter
Good news,
might.
the horse has quell.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
the horse might
I'm
have
looking-
quail.
Well, because in the book that I have, it only has to power 3. So I'm looking up in the wiki real quick.
Nope. Yep, you're good.
Animalism.
Because I know it can end the second the target of whatever pissed them off is dead. So, but we're doing mediation right now. So, and I really doubt at this point that we're killing justice, at least in this particular scene.
Yeah. Well, and I was gonna, the next time it came back around to me, I was gonna try and do something, but
were you going to attempt to do something similar to a quail?
Well, I don't have quell. What I have is
The horse might.
yeah, that's what I'm looking.
Yeah. Quell the beast is a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Standard action, make a contested
to be
challenge
fair-
if you are blah, blah, blah.
So-
Yeah.
He can
What
test
I was-
out a frenzy if I am no longer in his line of sight. So maybe I can use that to my advantage and try to like put some space between us.
Well,
Is that
what
a
I
thing?
was gonna
'Cause
do
I like that
is
too.
Yeah.
I was gonna shout to draw his attention to me and shout the tenet of the domain, which is the one about the masquerade or the traditions. Unapologetically defend the traditions. She was going to say that, get him to look at her and distract him for a second. And if his daughter can get in and quell him, because she's right, he does not have right of destruction. That could kill all of them.
Ooh.
Like
Okay,
that
so
was my hope.
threat, so-
That was my hope.
I
and
actually
then the
really like
daughter-
that.
And then Rachel would come in and
That'd
call
be
him.
cool. If the daughter saves the day, that'd be pretty good. Maybe she gets to eat first for once.
You're right. She gets to eat
That, like-
before the birdies.
Next time she doesn't have to pull a buggy.
Parodies Ivy really, really well.
Yeah.
I actually
Like-
really like that. From a storytelling standpoint, are all three of us satisfied with that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I personally really like it. Part of me wants to be like, man, these independent game girls don't give a fuck about that prince. That's why they're calling her a whore to her face. But then also I'm just like, but bitch, you still in her house.
Right. Right. The traditions are traditions.
Traditions are traditions. How you feel about it don't matter. Like, you still in
Right.
her house.
Right.
So, personally, I really like it. And at some point, I will actually go through this book. I have all the things I get when I frenzy, but I cannot see,
Yep.
other than Quell, how to end a frenzy. So I'm not wasting any more time on it. Let's go from there. What was the last thing we had that Carl could snip and come back to?
So he was still frenzying. You were on top trying to say something to him. And then I probably am going to try and distract.
Yeah.
Ness.
Okay, can we restart from like basically around that area?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just throw it to I'll just tee it up. So the vision moment transference, whatever that experience is, ends, and Jebediah is still frenzied. He recognizes that something happens. He understands, but just through the sheer red that he's seeing right now from his humiliation frenzy, he is still focused on killing, destroying, eradicating what triggered him, which is going to be justice. Where are we at for mediation and narrative?
Yeah. So I am going to, like I said, I'm going to real quick with rapid reflexes. I'll grab some of the tubing that is up on top of the arch, just in case I need something to batter this guy off me with. And from up there, so that, everybody can hear, I'll say, "Did you come here to go to war, Zook?" And wait and see what happens.
Oh,
Hold
that's
rest of that action in
good.
case I need to jump real far.
Oh God, that's
There's
good.
another archway, right?
Right. Oh yeah, there's another one. Get a few hundred feet down. You can jump to that next one. You got it.
If he moves, I'm definitely gonna jump to that one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Traci.
So I think for a moment, I'm stuck in that memory of Edmund. I have his voice again. I hear him again.
Yeah.
And I wished for just another second with him, and I got it. And for just a moment, Leah is stuck there. And when she hears justice, it snaps her out of that. And I have no gun. I have no weapons. I could probably try and improvise a weapon. That's not going to work. I've got my voice.
Yeah.
And so what she shouts as loud as she can is unapologetically defend the traditions. They keep us safe.
Ooh.
To try and draw his attention from justice to her. She knows that that's a risk. She knows that that could get her killed. But she needs to buy him a second, at least, to get his attention. And maybe it will hit someone.
Holy shit. We're in mediation, so there are no chops to see whether or not like you have the force of precedence to get this off. I think for mediation purposes, the most interesting thing for the story is you now have his unapologetic attention. I think he is going to throw justice into his periphery because now you've just challenged him again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is going to whip around and snarl and has you in his complete and total attention, which is at least going to buy us one positive thing. You're effectively out of his line of sight, Justice.
Good.
You're effectively out of his line of sight, which you just looked it up. And if not, this is what we're going with. We'll at least exterminate the frenzy with you, right? He's no longer targeted with you at all, right?
He can currently make once I am not in line of sight, he can make a frenzy test to pull himself out of frenzy. It's either a 3 or a 5, depending on how angry he is at Leah. But either way, it's not too terrible.
It's not too terrible. Okay. All right. Pulling ourselves out of frenzy. Do we want to do the chop or do we want to mediate what we find is most interesting?
Well, I thought it might be neat if his daughter, his child, Rachel, who is technically in between Leah and him.
Technically she is. Yep. As the horse. Yes.
I think it would be cool if she dropped out of her horse form.
Okay.
And moved towards him, because regardless of whether or not they like the prince, killing someone in her domain is still a breach of the tradition. He does not have right.
Yeah, I'm a shitty officer, but I am an officer.
But you are an officer.
Don't take it personal.
Oh yeah.
So I think that for a moment, because she's not frenzied. For a minute, she was enjoying this because this was
right. This is good times, y'all. This is great.
But for a second, she thinks about it and is like, "No, wait a minute, though. But wait, no, for real."
It's actually more interesting if he chooses not to leave frenzy and she has to quell him. I think.
And I think that she would have to walk up to him and touch him.
Oh.
And she would speak in the Pennsylvania Dutch.
Yeah.
And speak words to him. I don't know. Leah doesn't know what they're saying. I'm not sure that Justice would. But she moved up to her frenzying father and sire.
Yeah.
And puts her hand on his shoulder and says essentially to him, "Not now. This isn't the time."
Just really brief while you already have the stage here, Traci. What does Rachel Zook look like?
I think in her community, she'd probably be one of the prettiest girls. I think outside her community, she's not unattractive. But when you're in a secluded community,
yeah,
things are a little different. And for her, she has been used to being the pretty one.
Yeah.
So her hair has always had just a little extra sheen to it. And just those little things that make someone step out of a community. And she has a grace to her, but also a viciousness. The one person she is afraid of the most is her sire. But she also knows that her sire holds the key to their community. And if he gets pulled up by that bitch, they lose their focal point.
Yeah.
They lose their leadership.
They could lose everything.
Uh-huh. So she's not saying don't. She's saying not now. Not like this.
Nice.
You place your hand on your sire, on your father's what? His arm, his chest, his face, his cheek, on his shoulder. It's an immediate redirect from Justice to Leah to now her, where there's a brief moment of aggression shared, where that might not be enough to calm him. And now the four of you collectively are in another swanky hotel room. Swanky isn't the word. What's the word that Joe used before? What is it? The snooky? What is? I can't think of the word. I'm getting tired. What's the type of the hotel? Skizzy, scuzzy.
Scuzzy was the word I used before. Yeah.
Jesus. I will find this adjective. You're back into another scuzzy hotel room. Somebody's Super 8 long repurposed somewhere, likely on the west side or maybe the south side of Columbus. It's dark. The room is heavily saturated with the scent of blood, and there are 9 bodies strewn across this double queen room. There is a body that is slumped over with the puncture wounds in their neck with just a bit of blood, almost dry, that's pulled over into the desk chair. That's almost the face is sitting on a lamp. There's a pile of bodies on one bed. There's 2 bodies on another bed. It looks like someone tried to crawl beneath one of these beds and hit whatever manufacturing situation was underneath that and just never returned out from it. There's another body where you can tell an older woman, maybe in her mid 50s, 60s, was desperately trying to get out of the door, and just the front door. She's slumped against the door where her back is arching the opposite direction. One of her small heels is off and her ankle is broken, also with the puncture wounds. And the 4 of you at this point, this is Justice and Leah and Rachel, Jebediah, are looking around this room, and there's a person in the dead center of it, and her back is to you. But Leah, you recognize this ensemble. You recognize the short booty shorts. You recognize the fishnet stockings. You recognize the hair, even without seeing her face. And her shoulders are shaking and shuddering, and her palms open, where all 10 digits are reaching towards the ceiling. And she begins to cry. And as she weeps, the vitae that spills from her ducts and overflows down her cheeks and drips off of her chin, the droplets never hit the ground. They never hit her chest. They almost stop in midair and begin to spiral out in almost something that I have to call beautiful. These tendrils of blood begin to float through the air, around the air. And just as you've been around some of the blood workers before, you've seen theft of vitae, where you can feed from a distance, you can pull blood to you. This is an inversion. She is sending her blood out to every individual in this room that has been drained dry. And just as Scourge of Columbus, you recognize immediately this missing puzzle piece in your nonstop hunt for whatever this situation is that's breeding nests of thin blood.
Yeah.
This woman has a 40 to 50% success rate, and it's a mass embrace that you all witness as 7 of the bodies don't move. But the rest of them, their eyes open back up, their fangs drop, and they begin to writhe on the floor. And then it comes directly back out again. And Rachel, you are face to face with your father, who is now completely out of frenzy.
I think Rachel immediately takes her hands off. The moment she sees in his eyes that he's back, she takes her hand back. I'm sorry, sire.
Jebediah turns around. He's just going to take stock of the situation, which is what I'm seeing right now is what? The dog is still on the cart. He had no reason to get down. He's fine. I don't believe any of the surrounding members of this pack would have moved in. I think between Jebediah and his daughter, they had it. It's a rat and, well, they know what he is. What do we see of Justice in this moment?
I think at this point, Justice puts the tube back. And if Jebediah looks calm, then he'll leap back down. And say, my fault. Got a little mouthy there.
I apologize.
I didn't come here to pick a fight.
I recognize that I did.
That's
Is
okay.
anyone hurt?
Nobody important, he says with a face that has been.
He's got his. I love how that secondhand smoke is also catching Leo, who took one lethal and was crawling out of a pit.
Didn't even occur.
Listen, I got you. I'm always here to hurt Traci.
That's true. That's true.
Leo, what does this look like as you're rejoining?
I think this happened probably within the span of a minute.
Yeah, this was fast.
And while she is quick-witted, this was a lot. This was a lot.
This was a lot.
And so I think, again, her heart is racing because it does that. She's catching her breath, and she realizes she is very far away from the only person that would protect her. But
not anymore. I jumped down. You're not that far away now.
Well, but still, there's gangrel in between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is an instinct in her to move towards him, but I think that would be a bad decision. She's staying right where she is. And as the opposite of what she was doing earlier, where you're not trying to be too quiet she wants to be invisible. She wants to blend in. She does not want anyone to look at her, and she does not want to say or do anything that would exacerbate what's already happening.
Right.
So I think her mind is just reeling, and she is waiting for Justice to tell her what to do.
Okay. Where else have you been feeding aside from at the farms?
Mostly just here. I found a dead animal along the road once in a moment of weakness. It was already dead. Well, it was dying. And I think maybe Justice had me once hit up a guy at a bar.
I don't think she's sick, but obviously she's not feeding here anymore. I would like to know what is going on just as much as you would.
We can handle the breach at the meadows. We can handle the animals. We're going to need help with the intelligence.
Happy to. I would appreciate it if the nice lady could have her phone back, though.
He is going to look at his daughter, who has the phone.
Oh, no.
So he looks over at Rachel and just kind of motions towards her. And Rachel will, now that she's out of her previous shape, will hand did you say it was like one of those little cheap flip phones?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a flip phone. Yeah.
This flip phone is so good. Flip phones and beepers. I love 2025. It's going to hand you your phone, Leah.
Thank you, ma'am.
She's been working here for 2 or 3 months, Justice. This all happened tonight.
She wasn't even here tonight. I don't like it. This feels like a setup. I thought it was you guys. I don't think it is, but I feel like someone's playing us.
Hunters?
Doesn't feel like them. At least not the ones we've heard of. But maybe. No offense, but you're not that hard to follow. I don't like it though. They'd have to have been following you for weeks at a no. No, something else is going on.
If I disappear, they'll think I did it.
The animals?
Is it better for me to go back? No, I can't go back. The animals are killing themselves. They're going to think I hurt those animals.
Respectfully, Justice, why are we attributing this to sabotage and not looking into the fact that she may be parasitic in some way?
Because it doesn't make any sense. What, that all hits in one night? That doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But for precaution's sake, I would control her feeding.
Oh yeah. Appreciate it. We're gonna have to get her blood looked at one way or the other. So yeah.
I can get you samples from Peppermint Meadows.
That might be helpful.
She's not wrong, Justice. The bovines were killing themselves to get out of her presence.
Of their own accord?
We'll hop in when we can. Couldn't whisper to them with the...
Yeah. I appreciate the conversation. I'll be in touch, let you know what we know. Oh,
You know where to find us, Justice.
I'll send a letter. Maybe a messenger.
Or you could just come home.
It's very quiet here. Nice to see everyone though.
Rachel goes to protest something that has happened in this conversation, and she opens her mouth to speak to you, Justice, and I'll let you and I define that relationship between you and Rachel at some point.
Sure.
But suddenly you experience this final vision. There is a scuffling, a scurrying, a scuttling all around you, and your point of view at this point is a curious one because you can tell that you're in between walls. You can see brick on either side. You can see interior plumbing that has rotted out. You can see insulation that has been chewed through, but you can just feel the claustrophobia with your point of vision that you are between walls.
Mm-hmm.
There are rats that are scurrying past you, around you, through you, into you. And they're all carrying bits and pieces of something and someone that they're taking to their respective nests. Somewhere from the outside of the wall, you can hear a woman wail. And both of you, all four of you, can recognize that this woman's throat is torn and exhausted. from screaming and something else. There's muttering, there's wailing, there's crying, and you can hear that metallic sounds of dancing chains and manacles.
Oh.
And the rats continue by. You can't quite make out what she's saying. And the rats continue, and there's just a small break as one of the rats scurries by, and you can see through this break into the wall onto the exterior of the day. And you can see in the distance a yellow, a blue, a violet, and a teal rotating water slide just outside of the view. And that's where we're going to end this particular symphonic note. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful night. Bye.